yeah, the biggest contribution, I think, definitely for all the B-girls, and much love and respect to all the B-boys and B-girls worldwide who have stayed in the culture and the scene for so long, like, and being present in all the different aspects, creating new innovations, give major props to my crew and like all the Canadian B-girls and all, obviously we're close to US, so a lot of like American B-girls have been really influential.
So now breaking is going. It's opening this new lane, right? This new lane being this Olympic lane, not the dominant lane, but just a new lane, right? And I know that you were involved with the Canadian dance sport or Canada dance sport as a judge.
Yo, we got Lynx, legendary crew. Let's go.
For things related to this, correct?
Mhm.
What do you? How do you feel about this new lane that has opened up in the culture? Are you with it? Well, I know to an extent you have to be with it, right? You judged it, or you would have just not took the gig. But like, just in general, how do you feel about this new lane and the kind of turmoil that it's created to an extent in the scene, where like you have old guys coming out talking about I should be getting this, and you got young guys kind of scheming on each other for who's going to be on certain teams, and everybody's kind of confused about what the process is, but they just want to be there in France in 24.
This has got to be the biggest, hottest, controversial topic. Yeah, so I was invited as a judge for one of the qualifiers. So that we had two qualifiers, which I think are, like, as I understood it, are the qualifiers, were the qualifiers for the World Dance Sport um, World Finals, which just happened in like a few weeks ago, a week ago, or
In
whatever,
France, right?
last weekend in France. Yes. So those two qualifiers, and I was the judge of one of the there were three judges. No, wait a minute, we were five judges. So I was one of five judges at that qualifier, and then there was another qualifier at the end of October, which I battled at, and so I wasn't judging at that one. So, what I think is, yeah, like, I mean, I think the Olympics, it's like everybody get on the bus. If you're not on the bus, you're gonna get left behind.
Or
I
ran
mean,
over.
yeah, definitely. One or the other.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So, this is how I talk about it, is that I talk about um, my students, because at the end of the day, I don't have my own kids, so my break kids are like my kids, and parents, we always want for our kids, or I think, parents always want for the kids what they didn't have, So, in a way, when I was a teenager, I was a competitive athlete and I was training to go to the Olympics.
Oh wow.
Um,
In.
yeah, I was it's funny. I was in cross country skiing. I was a cross country skier, and I used to do
Oh.
national and World Cup races. Yeah, yeah. And I quit competitive sport, because sadly, I was exposed to a lot of the dark side of competitive sport. So I saw uh, athlete abuse, sexual assault, eating disorders. There was a major problem in my sport with blood doping on a worldwide scale. Um,
Wow. And these are kids doing this?
Youth, adults, more
Okay.
adults than
Okay,
youth.
you
Like I
okay, so
was
you were
a
like
teenager,
late
like late
teens.
teens. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no
So,
doubt.
but I started when
Wow.
I was like younger, like to 10, 11, and then
Right,
I went
right.
until I was like, 19, 18, 19. So yeah.
Wow. So you were a Canadian's Canadian if you were doing cross country skiing.
I know. The funny thing is, like these days, I'm traumatized by the cold. I'm like, well, how did I ever do that back then? What was I thinking?
Right. You were living your life in the snow at one point.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
doubt.
Yeah. So,
No doubt.
my dream was to go to the Olympics, but then, there was a little sidetracking and all these things happened, and I eventually quit sport, and it was not in a happy way that I quit. I quit because I was disenchanted, and I also felt like as an athlete, we were treated like machines. We were not like our creativity was not engaged in what we were doing. And I also felt like we didn't have a lot of autonomy, like authority over our own training. We were just told what to do. And sometimes I wasn't sure if the people who were telling us what to do actually knew what was best for us. And I think that, like, these are all things that are going to have to be navigated. Like, these are things that are all going to come up. Like, all the aspects of our community that are negative and that are problematic are going to be multiplied by 1,000 now that the stakes are higher.
If
So,
you think for 1 second that there's not going to be some b-boy or b-girl injecting themselves with something to get to the next Olympics, whenever it's going to be scary. And as the words were coming out of your mouth when you were talking about they were kind of squandering creativity, so on and so forth, when you break to the standard of a competition scoring system, now maybe what you want to do is not what you have to do. So you
mhm.
might have this whole total creative expression that you want to do, but if you want that gold medal, you better do what's required.
Yeah, I know. These are all questions that are coming up about it. At the same time, I look at my student and she's 12 years old and her dream is to go to the Olympics. So who am I? Who am I? Who would I be to stop her, to tell her no, no, the Olympics are bad. We shouldn't do this. No, 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 no. It's like, nah, you know what? Like, if that's her dream, if that is someone's dream, and that someone is my athlete or student or dancer, I'm gonna help them in every way that I can, to reach their dreams. And if that means being part of the machine, then that's what it is. We can only hope that by being part of it, we could direct it and make it and shape it in the way that we would like it, and the way that would be authentic and true as it could be to our culture, and to kind of maintain whatever control or creative decision making power we could have in that process. Because there's, you know with many things, it won't be stopped. It's going to happen, and it's going to continue. So I think at this point, what you have to do is be on board, in show up in the way that we can and feels best for us. And if at some point it doesn't, like anything, if it doesn't feel right for you anymore, or if it goes against your principles, like your deep principles and ethics, and you feel that something is wrong, then you got to get off the bus, like, or you got to make some noise. So it's I think that has to be, for me, my approach, everybody's approach and way of dealing with it. And I might say this now, and then later I might change, because everything is changing, everything is in its formation. And so I appreciate the initiatives by the people here in Canada to do their best to navigate this new format, and again, who knows what the benefits of this could be. Like, maybe these new things coming up could create more visibility, more access, more money, more opportunity, more, and maybe also create more opportunity for discussions about equity, for discussions about, I would hope that this is part of the vision and the process. Because if it isn't, it's a train wreck looking to happen, right? Because these things that we have, all kinds of issues, mental health issues for dancers, all of the stories that have come out about abuse. This I feel is even all of the things that have come up about every discussion, gender, race, is all just the tip of the iceberg. And moving forward, if these things don't start to be addressed, again, it's really there's going to be problematic issues and situations that come up that force us to deal with them and face them and start to reckon those things. So I don't know, what that means. Maybe it's going to have to take something really ugly happening for then these things to come to light. And then, maybe, like you said, somebody's going to start injecting something, and then we're going to realize, man, what happened? What happened to our dance? What's going on, but sadly, I don't want to, but because I feel like there's a lot of work that could be done in advance to prepare, or to anticipate, hey, this might create these problems. How can we start to address them before they actually start showing up?
And I think to your overall point, that's why I led with it's just a lane, right? Everybody's not going to be in the Olympics. Everybody's not going to even be able to be in the Olympics. So it'll just be one of the things, right? Just like let's take basketball, right? You can go play overseas and play basketball. You can go to the NBA. You can just get you a free education in college. You can play, just quit in high school. Like, there's different levels you can get to. There's different lanes of, if you can play pickup games at your local rec center, like whatever you want to do, right? And I think that this Olympic thing is just a splintering of a new lane. Hey, you like to go to Cypher jams? We still got Cypher jams. You like to do crew battles? Well, hopefully we'll see more of those. That's kind of been dying, but let's just think positively that they'll come back. So you want to do crew battles? You got crew battles. You want to do one-on-ones? We got one-on-ones. You want to go represent your country? Well, that's a lane you can do too now, But the bigger question, well, maybe not bigger question. Oh, if you had a point, go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, like you said, I think there's new lanes that will arise. Whenever something goes in an extreme direction one way, then there has to be a response that grows out of that. I mean, isn't that what hip hop is?
The crew battle will come back.
Right? So it's there's, there's going to be other creative, ways that people decide to be creative with breaking. Okay, we don't have creative autonomy in this kind of intense one-on-one competition style that's coming up. Maybe some new lane is going to evolve where creativity is at the forefront, where innovation and experimentation and exploration are valued. Musicality is valued, where all the things that we feel are not being valued in the other lane are now being valued. And then that will create new things in the community. I would hope. Or there's people, they're going to go in other veins. People are going in the creating choreographies and dance that's going to be presented in theater. And then this is a way that preserves the culture. Like my homie B-Boy Crazy Smooth and his company B-Boyism. You can't keep me back once I had some. No wasting time to get it right. And you will see what I'm about. 'Cause I'll hang around till it's done. You can't keep me back once I had some. No wasting time to get it right. And you will see what I'm about. 'Cause I'll come in the corner, kicking over shoulders, and from my car to go. He's presenting his mandate is to represent the authenticity of street dance, but on stage, and that's a big mandate, so there are other lanes that people are already exploring. Recently we had a battle here, which was a concept battle. One round is you're breaking, but you're not breaking on break beats, different music. You have to do one round on a different kind of music, but it was very clear, this isn't contemporary dance, we're still breaking, and then the other round was your opponent gives you a limitation. So your opponent, this is B-Boy Laos, actually, his concept, he he said, you know, and there was like at the second round, your opponent gives you a limitation, like, okay, you're not going to be able to do any back rocks, or I noticed you like to do a lot of stacking freezes. Well, for this round, you can't do stacking freezes. You got to do everything else, you know. So it's like, yeah. So it was, and then the third round was just a regular round, like breaking battles. So it was a really interesting concept. And it allowed, what I saw that it allowed was people to go outside the box, to take risks, to dance differently. And I think that's kind of like what you were referring to when you're talking about the competition format can start to limit people's creativity in the sense that they're kind of having to either be maybe forced by an outer authority or even by themselves to create their dance in a certain way to fit the competition format so that they can win. And when winning isn't the goal, when creativity is the goal, then you might have a different outcome, you know? So
Yeah. So here we go. Let's put you on the hot seat, Lynx.
yeah.
But you still haven't answered. Come on now, we need it.
No, I haven't answered. I would love it. I would love it. It's like, you know.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section. And to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.